Hey folks, it's actually not Friday. I missed getting this out on Friday, but it is Saturday. I'm only one day late. It is actually March the 19th, but this is the video for Friday, March the 18th. And you confused yet? And I actually don't have a lot to talk about. I talked about a lot last week, and I can just say ditto to a lot of things last week. So, ditto. Go back through, look at the email. If you have time, check out the video. Um, I do want to give some updates, and I didn't give much update last week on COVID itself. This week, I'm going to take a little bit of time to do that. You know, the Omicron variant called BA.2, it is growing. In South Carolina, it is about 5% right now of all of our COVID tests that DHEC receives. And remember, there's an awful lot of home testing going on. So the testing rates for which DHEC has results are very, very, very low, as are ours. We haven't been doing an awful lot of testing. Home testing really seems to be the go-to procedure, and that's good. That's good. And then there's this thing called Deltacron that seems to get a lot of conversations going amongst epidemiologists and infectious disease docs. I'm kind of watching and waiting to see what all of that's going to end up being. Some states have had a pretty massive uptick due to probably BA.2. A lot of sequencing is still going on. In other words, to determine what the virus actually is, and a lot left to learn on that. A lot of data is beginning now to depend upon wastewater detection, which is, I mean, when you think about it, kind of poopy, no pun intended. Well, actually, pun intended. But anyway, and we actually have, there's only two places in South Carolina, and we actually have one of them right in our backyard. Darlington Water Plant, or whatever it's called, does do COVID wastewater detection. You can actually follow that on the CDC webpage. You can see the data and watch and see whether it increases, decreases, or what have you, as you can all across the United States. And a lot of epidemiologists and infectious disease docs are saying that wastewater detection seems to be a pretty good early warning sign. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Dr. Jane Kelly is actually going to talk to us next Friday on our Facebook podcast, and she's going to talk a little bit about that. She was very interested and learned that Darlington County had one. Greenwood, by the way, is the other location. So, some things that are being developed right now, according to the CDC and their new ranking of county levels. And remember, that's a three-part ranking: low, medium, and high risk. All of South Carolina counties are green, meaning that they are all low risk. All of ours, all the rest of the state. But I want to make sure that people understand what that means. It doesn't mean a free for all, which I've been a little concerned about. That people are thinking, well, now we can do anything we want to do. Virus is gone. No, virus is not gone. There is just a low risk. And this is exactly what the CDC recommends. And we really need to pay attention to this. The CDC recommends that if you're not vaccinated, you better get vaccinated. Of course, they're going to say that. And here's the clincher: and stay up to date on your vaccines. Now, people are getting that phrase, up to date on your vaccines, very confused with fully vaccinated. So I want to explain this. A fully vaccinated person has had all the doses of the primary series. As a matter of fact, the CARE South Carolina requirement for health to to remain an employee of CareSouth is that you be fully vaccinated. However, this up to date nomenclature or definition means that a person has received all doses of their primary series, i.e., fully vaccinated, and have had a booster shot when eligible. I want to let that sink into y'all. That is what the CDC recommendation is for your behavior when your county is at the low level. And that, folks, is why we at CareSouth are not removing our mask requirement. Simply put, not all people are up to date on their vaccines. We haven't required it yet, and it's not on our radar screen to require booster shots for our employees. And of course, we've never required anything like that for our patients. But we know that we have a lot of folks that haven't received their boosters when they were eligible. And just to be a refresher on when you are eligible, because some of you aren't eligible for a booster yet. If you had either one of the mRNA vaccines, the Pfizer or Moderna, you're not eligible for a booster until 5 months after that. So it's very likely that if you receive one of those, you're late, or in order to meet our CareSouth Carolina requirement, you might not be eligible. Even those that received it in December, you're still not eligible. If you had a Johnson & Johnson vaccine, however, you are eligible for a booster 2 months after having received the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So I'm going to go over that again. According to the CDC, in order to stay up to date, and that is the required behavior in a low transmission ranked county, you have to not only be fully vaccinated, but you also have to have received all of the doses to which you were eligible of a booster shot. I don't think people really quite grasp that, but I want to make sure that folks in our setting do understand that. Don't get me wrong, we're not requiring booster shots. I'm not saying that. But we are saying that because this has not been widely adopted, there's not hasn't been a huge uptake in booster shots. Yeah, we've got many staff. I'm one of them. I'll get my fourth booster shot just as soon as I am eligible. My fourth shot, not my fourth booster. But many folks have not, and that is the reason why we have to continue with masks. To protect ourselves and to protect our patients. And then, of course, the second requirement for behavior in low risk counties is that you get tested if you have symptoms. And, folks, I'm getting really discouraged with that. I'm hearing people all over the place, work, church, friends, everywhere saying, oh, this is just my normal spring allergies. Or this is just something that's going around in my church, or what have you. Oh, don't risk that. Please don't risk that. We have a lot of free at home test kits available. Get them. Test. It doesn't take but maybe 15, 20 minutes at the most to test and make sure you don't go to work, to a school function, to your church, or even out in the public at a grocery store or what have you, carrying the virus with you. Please get tested. It's it's too easy. And if you need the test kits, ask your folks at your site or at your office or wherever that you want one of those test kits. We've got them, and we're continuing to order them, and we really want to get them out because that is a very important tool in our toolkit. Okay, that's about all the news I have to update everybody on, other than ditto to everything I said last week. A lot going on. Read the email if you don't have time to view that video. And I did say in an email, for which I apologized for not getting out either the video or the announcement of the quiz winners from last week. And by the way, quiz winners, congratulations. I am getting your e-gift cards out this morning, Saturday morning. So hopefully you'll get those. And the quiz question I asked today, in just a minute, will be the last of the quiz questions. It's been a fun run. Some of you have had a lot of fun with it. I know I've had a lot of fun with it. Um, but, things change, things develop, and it's time to wind this down. So, your quiz question, once again, is a true or false. And if you were listening closely, it is just based on what I previously said. Um, Staying up to date with your vaccinations, staying up to date with your vaccinations means that you have received all of your primary care series, which are 2 shots if it was Pfizer or Moderna, or 1 shot if it was Johnson and Johnson. I'm going to repeat that again. Staying up to date with your vaccines means that you have received both shots of Pfizer or Moderna or your 1 shot of Johnson and Johnson. Is that statement true or false? All right, that's it for today, Saturday for Friday, March the 19th. The spring vernal equinox is tomorrow, and I am so glad. Maybe it won't be raining. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye bye.